Because I was like saying support art, and then like we come back in with Jizz Bangers.
Jizz does create people. Without Jizz, there would be no people.
I will not argue that.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Speak of the facts.
Yeah.
Facts, Beth.
If not for your father's Jizz, you would not be here.
Exactly. Why are we making it taboo? Jizz is Jizz.
Yeah.
All right, and I feel like that's...
Chef Dyke Michael's making food, and he's making comedy too. Thaddeus J. McKee is co-hosting with the guy I mentioned previously. Sauce Boss Sacks on the 1 to 2, so good he calls them 2s and 3s. And as always, there's a guest who'll be sure to please on Harder Brunch.
Hi, and welcome to the Harder Brunch Podcast. I'm your host, Dyke Michaels. With me, as always, my co-host, Thaddeus J. McKee.
F2 Faye McKay.
On the 1s and 2s, the Wheels of Steel, the Sauce Boss of Indianapolis, and the Last Woke Dragon. Give it up for Zach Rohn.
Hey there.
That was a hell of a fade out, Zach.
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna do, and I want everyone to know at home what Zach's gonna do is he's gonna go in post production and he's gonna fix that. But I want everyone at home to know that live in studio there was a terrible fade out.
Oh,
it was garbage.
Oh, I feel like...
See, Thad, you don't even seem like you noticed. So it probably wasn't that bad of a fade out.
No, I noticed. It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad, and I was like, okay, like he must be off his rocker.
I think I want to go and re-edit the bad fade out back into it afterwards.
This feels like it's gonna be a heavy shame episode. We're gonna hear that shame button.
Shame.
Oh, there we go. Okay, strike two.
And a very special returning guest, returning champion with us in studio, Beth Francis. Welcome back to the program.
Hey.
Now, Beth, have you been on a video one yet? Is this your first video podcast?
I think so. Maybe one with Will.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while, but... Yep.
So, the after brunch. But, this is the first. So, Beth has been long time. One of our very first guests on the show, before you guys even. She was one of the very first, I would say, like... second or third guest, came in when there was no furniture in the house. There was just an empty studio, and I believe we ate nachos.
Yeah, or guacamole with pomegranate seeds in it.
Yes,
It was really good.
That was it. There wasn't 5 courses.
No,
you only got one chip back then.
Some kind of chimichanga burrito.
Yeah, well,
situation.
it was Thanksgiving themed, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. It was also an episode where I think Cody just barked the entire way through.
Yes.
It was just like, I don't know if I could do a podcast or not because this dog's just gonna bark. Cody used to bark like the whole time.
Oh yeah, Cody used to be loud.
Yeah.
And before the podcast started, he didn't even bark.
No.
He waited until we started and then was like, "Yep, this is a great time."
Yeah, I think it's important to say too. Like you've gone through 3 different houses.
Yeah.
With Harder Brunch, you've watched us grow or move. So like
grow or
move.
Go backwards.
Not in the same, but yeah.
But yeah, like you came into Dyke's house probably because this was before me. Probably 0 furniture, correct?
There was some. It seemed more of like a squatter's house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's squatter vibes.
I think we spoke on an iPhone. I think there may have been a mic.
No, it was just an iPhone.
Yeah.
When you first came on.
Yeah.
Wow, and you said to yourself, "This is going to have a full studio and live productions in about 3 years."
I mean, she knew me well enough to know what. You weren't surprised when you came over. You saw that. You were like, "This makes sense." Just for the record, I feel like every time this gets brought up, I have to clarify. I had a roommate that moved out and he took all of his stuff with him, so it was like I wasn't just like squatting in an empty house, but then I was squatting in an empty house. It was cool. It was so like he was an artist, so everything was like really. Remember he had like the cool Biggie poster that he made was like airbrush and everything. It was like not only was there stuff in there, but there was a bunch of really cool stuff because he was like an artist. And then when he moved out, it just looked real Dexter-y in there.
It's like a divorced dad. Gets his own place. He's like, I got a couch. Mm-hmm. I have a chair next to the TV.
Yes.
And a fridge. Cool.
And one set of I think everything, like one set. There was like a fork. We had to take turns with the fork. I remember that. It was like,
I mean, that only changed recently.
Hey, let's not dredge up any painful memories.
Come on, Zach.
Before we get started, so this is a little bit different because Beth has been on a million times. So we know her. She's part of the Harder Brunch family. We don't need to do a full interview with her, but she just came, hung out at our pop up today. So she's just gonna shoot the breeze with us. You're also like a longtime service industry professional. You are
at least 10
in
plus
the game.
years.
Currently a bartender.
Yep, I work weddings. It's an interesting gig, very great money. Interesting.
It's kind of like Groundhog Day. You know, it's the same wedding almost, just over and over again.
Yeah.
A little bit different every time.
And I'm starting to notice that, like, so many songs that they play at the reception are, like, bad wedding songs. Like,
super inappropriate.
Yeah, about cheating and, like, fucking around and, like... It's just very uncomfortable. Yeah, sometimes.
I love when at a wedding they play, because like every couple of years there's new like Men Ain't Shit anthem.
Yeah.
Which like usually at the club or whatever gets excited, but it's funny at a wedding of all places where it's just like, and these two are betrothed together in love and unity forever, and then like 10 minutes later it's like, yo, man ain't shit. Oh, let's get on the dance floor. Yo, man ain't shit.
Yeah, Lizzo was playing, and they're just like, man, you're shit. And I'm just like, man, this is going to be a happy marriage. And the bride is just getting down. She's like, fuck you and your friends.
Also, I think the top cringe is sometimes the father-daughter dance song selections. Those can get a little weird.
Tell us a song.
I mean, I can't think of like, so some every once in a while I can't remember a specific song, but there's definitely been ones that are just inappropriate. Like it's like a love song to like a lover, you know, and it's just like, why are you dancing with your dad to this song? Like, this is who dropped the ball on picking this one out. And then the other side of the spectrum is like where you can tell that somebody like wrote the song for this. Like there was a song, I don't know what it's called, but it's a country song, and it's just like, I loved her before you did. And it's like this creepy, like, I'm giving my little girl away to another man, and like, I hope you better treat her right or I got a shotgun.
Yeah. I mean, but remember Butterfly Kisses?
Yeah. I mean, I don't remember the lyrics exactly, but how'd that go?
That was like the wedding song, the peak wedding song of the 90s for daddy-daughter dances. Like someone was like, I want to write the best daddy-daughter dance song.
Yeah.
And
it's a lane. It's a lane to be in.
It's a lane. Yeah.
Like if you're a singer-songwriter, be like, I got to nail this.
Yeah.
Like, what is going to be the banger that gets played at weddings for you? Because if you get locked in that zone, I mean, there's songs that we hear you're always going to hear. Mambo Number 5 is never going to die.
Man, that's the first one to be played usually.
That Mambo Number 5 is in the wedding like Hall of Fame. Like it's always going to. I mean, there's certain. I mean,
the window to the wall that plays. They played it twice on Friday. Twice, like in the beginning. There's like. Yeah, they were like really getting into it, and like grandma was like, "Yeah, skeet everywhere." Yeah. It's raunchy.
Beth definitely brought it to my like, and I kind of knew this, like, but like she was like, we were talking about songs of that genre, and I was like, there was a time in the 2000s where it was definitely like a heavy ejaculatory bass club bangers, you know. It was a lot of like skeet on the walls, a lot was super soak that hoe.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh,
jizzed in my pants.
Yeah, there's like a lot of that.
Happy they were.
Yeah, and I think we celebrated that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
And then afterwards, Me Too came around. Yeah, so it was like, hey, do yourself, fellas.
Are you saying Me Too stopped the jizz songs?
I think so. I have not heard many jizz songs since the Me Too movement. So
that's hilarious.
Find one song for me.
I feel like those songs back in the 90s or early 2000s taught us like just poorly poured his beer over the cup onto the table, which
none of it went in the glass.
Yeah, there's no way.
It looked like a bird fountain or something. It looked like, I was like, what? Oh, it wasn't even the right side of the kid.
Dyke is drinking this fantastic High Noon.
I don't want to plug them because this is a terrible design.
what I was just trying to say about I think we were talking about Jizz songs.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think the 2000 early era of hip hop like just taught everybody how to Me Too people. Like there were Me Too song guides and like throw up against the wall and slap it and like it was a lot of stuff like that.
Not a lot of songs about consent is what you're saying.
Zero.
What's funny to me is that like because somebody brought it up about like they were talking about like the misogyny and like hip hop songs and stuff, and it was always like, oh well, they call women bitches and hoes, but then you see women at weddings and they're always the first one to run out on the dance floor doing these songs, and it's like, oh, they're not talking about me, they're talking about some other bitches in the house, and I think that's where the line is.
Oh, you think like when they're twerking, they're like, they're not talking about me shaking my ass, but I'm making fun of them. Like you're saying they're sarcastically twerking on the dance floor.
I think anything that you liked when you were like in high school and college just gets grandfathered in. It doesn't matter what the content of it. Is. I mean, they still play R. Kelly songs at weddings,
So there was like the grooms getting ready and they're playing their pump up music, getting excited, and they played Ludacris Move Bitch. Yeah. And it just seemed weird. Like right before the ceremony, and he's like, "Move, bitch, get out the way!" Yeah. Like it's all about him. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, it was bumping.
I always thought "Move, Bitch" was more of a road rage song.
Yeah.
I thought it was more driving bass.
I always speed to that song. I'm like, why am I going 60 to 35?
So aggressive.
It doesn't feel like a wedding song. It doesn't feel very
craziest wedding song I've heard.
Yes.
Is "It Wasn't Me."
Oh yeah, Shaggy. That's super inappropriate.
Songs about cheating.
On the counter. Wait, wasn't me. Like, what are we talking about? This is setting up for failure. If you're not into getting cheated on.
Yeah, I have a friend who worked at a hotel and he ironed Shaggy's suit for him. That was his claim to fame.
How often did he bring that story up?
A lot.
Hey, I ironed Shaggy's suit. You know Shaggy.
So like me and all my friends up there for a while, like we'd always like work and I had a group of friends who all worked in hotels for a while, and then I had a group of friends who we all worked like in pizza places, and then I had a group of friends who we all worked in strip clubs for a while. Like it was like kind of jumping around, and when we worked in hotels, everyone had these like quasi celebrity stories, or like the people that actually met celebrities, but like I love the fact that all of my celebrity stories were like the absolute D-list. Like it was either D-list celebrities or the farthest away from an actual celebrity. So I had a list of people that I cooked for like in the hotel, and it was always like, remember this guy from this thing? And, like it was like 2/3 of the band Grand Funk Railroad. Or it was like I cooked a shrimp scampi for Don Marsh, like.
But you almost had the cream of the top. You almost cooked for Kanye West.
I cooked for Don Marsh though.
Did you?
Yeah.
Samesies.
But I also did Meg Ryan's 50th birthday.
Oh,
so that was a pretty cool one.
Wow, Zach. Wow.
I didn't know we were name dropping over here.
I thought that was the whole game.
No.
It was the opposite.
Really
you were supposed to, when you came close to fame.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then during Super Bowl, I cooked for Flea.
Oh.
From the Red Hot Chili.
Very nice.
Shit.
I sent a cola up to Gene Simmons, and I don't believe he drank it.
I went to high school with Shaggy's cousin's friend. Yeah, one of Shaggy's cousin's friend.
Did he get his suit ironed by somebody?
I touched the suit. I didn't. I just went up and touched them.
I waited on John Lovitz once at the comedy club.
No way.
He wouldn't look me in the eye.
Did he have his little dog with him?
Yeah, and it shit in the green room.
Oh,
he also never took the dog out. He was there for like 10 hours, never took it outside. So yeah, it's shit and piss in the green room.
Did he clean it up?
No. Fuck no, it's John Lovitz.
He's like, can someone get this poop?
He's just the same in real life as he is in the movies.
The dog shit in the green room, and like Beth is in there having to scrub it. And he goes, "She's losing her mind, and I'm reaping all the benefits." That was a terrible impression. We all love Little Nicky, don't we?
We could have a Lovitz off. Who could do the best Lovitz?
I automatically lose.
Zach, it's your turn to try Lovitz impromptu.
Oh no, I can't.
That was good. That was good.
Is that one good?
If you're just tuning in for the first time, this is a little different than a normal Harder Brunch because we just did a pop-up today.
Yeah.
We just did a pop-up at Gomez Barbecue. We did a takeover, and I got to say, out of all the events we've done this summer, this was one of them. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No,
it was an event.
No, it was very fun. I really love the fact that because I have to be honest with myself. I'm the kind of person like if we have 20 people, I want 40 people. If we have 40 people, I want 80 people. Like I always want more and more. But when I looked around and saw the people that came, gross. when I looked around and saw everybody that was there today, I was very happy and very excited about I was like, oh, this is Brunch Nation right here. These are the people. These are the faces of the people that support us, that come out and just like to have a good time. And you could take almost any mix of people that come to our events, and they're just the best. Yeah, they're fun people that want to come out and have a good time.
There's a lot of laughing.
Yeah. A lot of laughs. The lady I worked with was just like, because, it's a pop-up, and she was just like, this was so much fun. She goes, your friends, everyone that came out was so good. Like, they were nice. They had fun. They were good tippers. Like, it made her day just to, wait on everybody. And so I was just like, there is something to be said from that. Like, we have a great fan base.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you for everybody that came out. And tipped really well. One of the things I've been saying, I'm just going to pull the sticker up real quick. If you put this in your business and people see the sticker, they tip more. That's what we want to be known for. Hey, if you're part of a Harder Brunch Nation, you're a good tipper. All right.
Yeah.
If you're not, you're probably a bad tipper.
Also, if you put this on the back of your car, you can drive drunk legally. You can just
drive drunk.
You can drive on the sidewalk. You can do whatever you want. Like, nobody can pull you over if you have one of these on the back of your car.
And you think he's lying.
People would think that.
But he's not.
Bingo Bayou Brunch is what we did. And I got to say, I could eat New Orleans food just any time of the year.
Oh, that etouffee was perfect.
I can make, thank you. I can laterally get you everywhere. I think I could do New Orleans food. We used to joke that we would do it once a month almost. And it's been a minute. It hasn't been once a month, but I guess our last event was a seafood boil. Wow. I don't care. I will, I think Zach and I were talking about fantasy restaurants earlier today. And I was just like, my fantasy restaurant is just New Orleans food. Mm-hmm. Definitely slop based.
Yeah, no, you just said slop based. You didn't say New Orleans food. You said slop and plop.
Most New Orleans food is slop based. I feel like.
Okay.
It's what isn't, name 3 New Orleans foods that aren't slop based. It's all slop. But in the best way possible. I don't think slop is a derogatory term.
When people used to call me slop in high school. And I didn't realize.
Because they liked you.
I didn't know it was a New Orleans Creole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's when you win poker pool, right? When you have a slop shot, that was a good thing, right?
What's the term? Sloppy seconds.
Yeah, that's also a good thing. It means
everything's warmed up and ready.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been practice.
Yeah.
I think your mascot for this would be the slop king.
The slop
king.
King.
The slop king's here.
Slop king. No, man, it was really fun, and shout out to everyone that came. Shout out to Duncan Kissinger.
Man.
Yeah,
so good.
It was so hard to explain to people how good this guy is at calling bingo. It's such a weird skill set to have, and I've literally wanted him to do this for 3 years. The last time I think I saw him do it was in 2019 before the pandemic, and I was like, man, this guy's really good at bingo. I want this guy to do an event with me, and I at some time in the future. And so I've been planning this before even Harder Brunch. I was like, I want this guy to do bingo. The original time I saw him was when Harder Brunch was a social club, and we went to State Street, and he was calling bingo at a brunch event, and I was just like, this guy's great. Yeah. I've never heard somebody he has a pun for every single number called.
Yeah.
He had a little pun.
Well, they're not cheap puns either. They're they actually make you laugh. I was laughing the whole time. Mm-hmm. He was good. He told me he couldn't sleep the night before. He was like this excited to do the Harder Brunch bingo. And I was like, man, like that. I like that energy. I like people to be able to sleep. Don't get me wrong. But like when
our events ruin people's nights.
Yes, that's a good thing.
It was definitely a thing of this, like it's hard to explain that to people. Like I would tell some people, man, this guy's really good at calling the bingo numbers. They're like, what?
The way he says it.
What do you mean he's good at calling bingo numbers? They're like, no, man, it's fun. It's a time. So, man,
can we notice what's going on with Zach over here?
What's new?
Did you unplug something? No. I feel like he heard last week's episode of me unplugging stuff, and he's like, "Oh, I can take it easy." He's like, "My batting average is pretty high." He just got married.
I thought Zach just quit in the middle of the episode.
I thought he did.
Like, well,
yeah, bye.
If we're just gonna talk about this goddamn event all day,
I'm just gonna tuck myself in a corner.
You have a work ethic of a man that just got married last week.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big congratulations to the Sauce Boss Sacron on his nuptials.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
What exactly does anyone know what nuptials actually means? I know it means you got married, but like, what does the word come from?
Well,
you bring your nubs together.
Two nubs become a shoal.
Well, I can't. Nup. It's with a P, right?
Mm-hmm. Ah.
Right. Sorry,
nubs.
I couldn't let that. I should have let that go. Like a pre-nup, right?
That's before the nup.
Before the
nup.
Yeah.
So you nupped up.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be nupped?
How does it feel to be nupped?
It feels pretty great. Pretty great.
Yeah.
You cooked for your own nup day.
Yep. I cooked the food for the nups.
That was crazy.
Nups for the masses.
No, honestly, like he had a wedding, and then all of a sudden, like I'm there and I'm watching him. We go to the reception, and then Zach's running all around, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? And like he cooked all of his wedding food.
Yeah, against my better, like I definitely was like, don't do that. That's crazy.
Because you offered, like I could do this, and he's like, I'll do it myself. No, I'm kidding.
No, Dyke said he was going to help me, and then he just watched. Yeah, it was crazy.
I was like, we can get this done in half the time or the full amount of time. No, everything was amazing. Also, I did notice when I was sitting that some of the flowers that were on the table, I was like, that's meat cake skill right there. You learned that from meat caking.
Well, I did feel like I had to at least make as good of a cake for the wedding.
That is hilarious.
As I did because I definitely practiced the meat cake more.
Yeah.
But what I can say was that it was practiced for the wedding cake because there was, it was thematically similar.
Yeah. You sharpened your skills.
I hope your wife doesn't watch this.
She won't.
Never does, never will.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a fan of the butter flowers too. They were like flowers about this big.
You ate 7 of them.
I ate 7 of them.
I was like, that's
those weren't edible.
Oh, they weren't?
No, they weren't.
That wasn't butter.
That wasn't. I can't believe this isn't flowers.
Crisco.
Oh, Crisco
flowers.
It's just straight fat.
No, it was really good. It was at Garfield Park in the sunken place. What was the Sunken Gardens?
Yeah, I think the location was everything. Like it was so easy to make that place look good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because it already did.
There was Beth. So we were taking pictures. We were taking group photos, and this kid comes tearing through. It's not part of our party.
Oh,
it's just it's an open park. And me being a comedian is like everyone's like, I'll let the kid run through, and I'm just like, man, I got a zinger in the chamber. I really want to just jokingly yell at this kid, like not be an asshole, but just kind of like, hey kid, what are you doing?
The non-asshole way to yell at a kid.
Yeah,
I don't think I've witnessed that.
Well, where it's like you're
hey, you Disney adults, get over here.
I was so close to saying something. And then I realized that it was definitely a special needs child that had run away from the rest of its family, and I was like, everyone just catch something on the way out. I was like, and then I saw my whole life go down if I had yelled at the special needs kid, like, get out of our picture.
There seemed to be a lot of strolling handicap people. I don't know how to say it. I'm handicapped myself.
They are people.
Here's the thing. Wait. I feel like I'm getting in trouble. Gonna back this up.
Yep.
People
No, there's
Like, you didn't even have to jump in and do this. Like, Dyke was already taking the heat, and you just volunteered yourself.
Dyke was worried about looking like a bad person. But Dad took that over. He was like,
Dad took off his coat and laid it over a mud puddle for me. He's like, just walked right on through.
No, like there were like
the tone changes.
I don't even know what this guy's talking about. I don't even think they're people.
Yeah, shout out to our friends that have problems. Here's the thing. This is scary. No,
a lot of after brunch talk going on.
Yeah, I would be scared too.
Oh gosh, I forgot how many people will watch this. Here, listen. There was a guy that was blind that like walked in front of the pictures.
Oh yeah.
So like there was a lot of people that kept walking through the pictures, and like everybody's like wanted to say something, and like he was blind, like he didn't know. I'm not making fun of blind people here.
I think. Well, and then like later on at the reception, that's when we came up with the concept of the wedding goof.
Yes,
because Dad almost knocked over like a bunch of shit. I was like, "Don't be the wedding goof. There's one at every wedding." Like, you don't want to be that guy.
Just fall on the cake.
Oh, that's been my nightmare.
It was the blind guy that pushed me over. It wasn't me.
There's always a cake. There's always like they do the cake and then they take like the top part or part of the cake and they put it in this fridge at work. And and then we always have to put our stuff in the fridge too. And like, there's always a time where I'm like, what day is it gonna be where I just like spill like fucking cherry jubilee or something all over like the top of somebody's wedding cake and ruin their entire day? I'm afraid every week that I'm gonna do that. And then we ended up with some random people from Zach's wedding. That was my favorite part.
You mean at Dorman?
Well,
just okay.
It's like, oh yeah, wedding crashers.
Going from the wedding to, so like literally we were leaving and there was just like this random person that was like walking out and I was like, "Hey, you going to Dorman Street?" Just kind of like being friendly, and they were like, "I got left by everyone that I came with."
Ooh,
they're like,
red flag.
Is that where the party's going? Is that where the party's going down? And I was like, yeah, I guess so. And then I just turned around and then all of a sudden that person's riding with Dad to the second location.
Yay! Stranger in your car.
Stranger in your car.
They got dumped by all their friends.
Yep. This person, I would describe them as someone that had too much to drink.
Oh, okay.
That's how I would
Their
describe
friends
them.
left them.
Yeah. And then she was like, "Hey, are you going to Dorman Street?" And I was like, "Yeah, like I'm following like my other friends there." She's like, "Do you mind if I could get a ride?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't want her to drive." So I was like, "Yeah, come on in." And then another friend jumped in the car as well. And then I drove. That's the story.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lie there. Like, no, that's the story.
No,
have you heard back from this friend?
The best part was when
MIA?
I got to the bar, I helped make sure that everything got cleaned up and then dropped everything off, went to Dorman Street. And then this person tells me that Thad and Dyke just dropped her off and went home. So she's like, "I don't know where your friends went. They dropped me off and went home." And I was like, "Well, okay."
What were we supposed to do?
They were sitting outside.
Yeah, we were on the patio.
And so I didn't see them until I smoked a cigarette like 30, 40 minutes later.
Yeah, and she had never made it out on the patio. She just thought she was left. Oh.
No, she found the other group.
Okay.
I mean, we did ditch her inside of the bar, which is true. Like, as soon as we got there, it's like, I'm going to
So maybe she was telling the truth. That's what they told her.
I'm going to be out here.
We're going home.
There's a certain type of people when they drink too much, they just overtalk you and tell their own stories.
Oh, yeah.
And it isn't comfortable. Like,
Are you describing this podcast?
Yes. It's called Harder Brunch People.
There was a wedding guest last night, and I watched her. She got obliterated by like 6 p.m. and was grabbing men by the hand and leading them to the men's restroom, and nobody followed her in there.
No one knows what happened.
And then she tried it a few times, and like, we can watch this. Like, the bathrooms are visible from the bar, and after a while, she just sat at the table right outside of the bathroom. And then was like, she wasn't even talking. She wasn't verbal at this point. We weren't giving her alcohol, but she was like beyond help. She was one of the friends that was left by her other friends. They were like, we're not.
What do you think she was trying to do in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Definitely hook up. 100%. I know those eyes. She was trying to find.
But
something.
was it just like what?
It wouldn't have been good. I'm sure she would have.
Was it like caveman? Like there is a kind of thing of just like, come on, come on, let's go in there. Was it that kind of thing?
Yeah, because most of the time she would grab the men by the hands, but wouldn't say anything. She would just like grunt.
Yeah,
this is grunt.
Yeah,
implied
this
grunts.
Is like daylight. So I'm like, you're a hot mess of a person.
Oh, the sun's still out.
Yeah,
it's never good.
Yeah,
it's never good.
The daywalkers.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna cancel Zach. So stick around; that'll be fun. Gen Z can't stop raving about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Patreon.com/Harder Brunch slaps.
No cap, the Harder Brunch Podcast is bussin' on God.
Move over, Boomer. Gen Z's here to talk to you about the Harder Brunch Patreon.
Harder Brunch Podcast on Patreon, $3 a month, low key is steal.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass has me bricked up every day.
Listen to these all totally real testimonials.
No, like I'm getting paid to do this, don't worry. Yeah. No, you think I do this for free? No.
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps.
Sound younger!
The Harder Brunch Podcast deadass slaps.
Just go to patreon.com/Harder Brunch.
The Patreon After Brunch Podcast hits different. That shit makes you feel shit.
Hi, and welcome back to the Harder Brunch Podcast. Man, we are really talking about Jizz Bangers here on the Harder Brunch Podcast.
Oh, they didn't need to know that.
Well, that's the title now.
Jizz Bangers?
I'm so happy to be on this episode.
This is...
You brought
I did bring it up.
You brought this content to the episode.
I'm a goblin of a human.
This was weird. Like, I feel like this is weird because like I just spoke at a Creative Mornings conference.
You did.
And like it was like professional. It was really nice.
Yeah. There might be some new people like tuning in. Like,
yeah,
we want to see what this podcast is all about.
Because I was like saying support art, and then like we come back in with Jizz Bangers.
Jizz does create people. Without Jizz, there would be no people.
That. I will not argue that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Speak of the facts.
Yeah.
Facts, Beth.
If
Sorry.
not for your father's Jizz, you would not be here.
Exactly. Why are we making it taboo? Jizz is jizz.
Yeah.
All right, and I feel like that's what gets me fired for my job. like here, we were just gonna play this clip like of you saying it. Jizz is jizz. Okay, quit being gross about it. That's how you got here. All of us have jizz on us. In us. On us and in us. We're made out of jizz. We're jizz people.
Amen.
All right. This is Harder Brunch. This is After Brunch talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People usually have to pay to hear us say
Get behind the jizz wall.
The jizz fee.
Like the more you say jizz, the funnier it gets. It's not. It's yeah.
No, I feel like we're all slap happy from the podcast or from the pop up.
And you know what? Never mind. There was a segue.
You gotta work jizz in one more time.
With pop-ups come Jizz.
there it is.
Done.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Welcome back to the Harder Brunch Podcast.
I never looked over and seen Zach like just like I don't want to be a part of this. I'm a married man.
It's the lowest form of comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like we got away with a lot of stuff when we were audio only because you couldn't see us. And I feel like now that like we're video recording everything, we're really committing to these bits.
Yeah.
We're really committing to
Right. I do want to
this nasty talk.
I told McDonald's I'd do this like after this talk. Hey guys, McDonald's, there's donations going out, and I'm raising money for the kids. And don't pay attention to what we just said in the first part, but I had to do a McDonald's sponsorship.
You were really doing a sponsorship thing there after the jizz talk.
Well, I believe in helping kids, and McDonald's Foundation has been great.
Empty your pockets, empty your balls. All cool.
The Ronald McDonald
Oh,
Foundation.
in the little slot that's in the drive-through.
Yeah. Yep.
Jeez.
Imagine somebody just throws trash in there.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I used to. That's how they got. It was like, hey, do you want to do something else for us?
I worked a wedding and they had they didn't want us to have tip jars out,
Fuck that.
but they wanted us to have buckets for Riley Children's Hospital because that looked nice. And then they didn't donate the money.
What?
They
What?
didn't, or the flowers. They were supposed to donate all the flowers to the Riley Kids Foundation. It
I
was
mean,
like
if
a
they
big
really
part.
want it, they could come get it.
They throw it all away.
Yeah, that's how I.
Fuck their
Wait,
marriage.
That's basically you just described the Red Cross in one hand.
Oh yeah, the Red Cross. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Most. Are you saying like most like places like the Red Cross are really?
No, I'm talking specifically about the shitty Red Cross.
Oh, speak on it. I don't know. I've never really dealt with the Red Cross.
Oh, they throw away a lot of donations. They set up things and like take their photos and everything, and then they don't want to transport it, so they just trash it and throw a lot of their donations away.
Zach, can you look up Red Cross facts? I don't think we need to spend too much time on this.
I feel like you brought it up. So I feel like both of you have brought stuff up, and you're like, all right, Jizz is this guy. You started talking about Jizz. You started talking about the Red Cross.
It coincides.
Specifically being not a good charity in that way.
I don't know. They might have gotten better. I don't care about them anymore. I used to. So I used to work.
Well, I guess it's blood that they're throwing away. After selling some of the surplus blood to hospitals, Red Cross began to destroy thousands of pints that outlasted their shelf life.
Man.
I mean, it's expired blood.
Yeah.
thousands of pints isn't that much though when you consider how many people donate blood.
I mean, they didn't say like
Thousands of pints, though. I think you can only donate like up
Maybe
to
that's
a
on a
pint
day.
at once. Like I can't donate a
that's
pint.
thousands of people worth of.
Yeah.
That could be given to like a hungry vampire.
So I felt like shit for half of a day so that they could throw my blood away.
How long
Cool.
how long is blood good for? Like how long like expired blood? How long does like blood go? When's the used by date on blood? You don't have these facts top of mind, Zach?
So we were talking about New Orleans. Have you guys heard about vampires?
How long does blood last in the fridge?
Yeah.
They say 42
There's like a
days.
big vampire following in New Orleans.
Okay.
Like before like True Blood or anything like that came out, like I had
Yeah.
heard about people going to
It's
New
a very
Orleans.
supernatural town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's ever really talked about.
Have you been to New Orleans?
No, I haven't. I've been to Louisiana a few times. Yeah, I've been to Shreveport,
Yeah,
Louisiana.
I don't-
That's not the place that you go.
There's
when
something
you go
gross
there.
about you're like never been to New Orleans. I've been to Louisiana a bunch though.
Several times, yeah.
All the gross parts.
Yeah.
Have you ever been on a like a fan boat tour?
Yeah, been in Florida. Yeah,
Have you seen the gators like come up to the boat?
yeah.
You look like you've been in a swamp before.
Oh, yeah. One of, like, the earliest photos that I have of me, I'm, like, 2-3 years old, and I'm holding, like, a
right.
giant python, and I'm just, like, really happy to be holding this thing. And then
At
after...
2?
Yeah. It's huge. It's a great photo.
Are you holding a python at 2, or is a python wrapped around you at 2?
I'm like hugging the tail of it, but then after the photo was taken, I remember this. I will forever remember this. It started curling around the base of my feet and legs, and I was like, we have to go. Fuck this. But it's still a great photo.
Beth,
Yeah, but then a lot of people bring their kids to like hold these snakes and alligators that would easily kill them. But that's Florida. I think it was more of like a not fun for the kids, or like maybe they'll just like die.
was
and we
either
won't
one
have
of your
kids anymore.
either one of your parents from Florida?
Yeah. Yeah, my mom is from Florida.
Oh, that makes so much
It's
sense.
bad.
Beth has just been completed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, my mom and my
There's
grandma are both from
Florida, man.
Yeah.
A lot of things make sense now.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of inside stuff of Florida, and it's really seedy. Yeah.
No, one of the things I know, and I love New Orleans. Like I will never shut New Orleans. Is probably my literal favorite city. I've been down there like 3 or 4 times. Anytime anybody, if you want to go down to New Orleans, I will go because I love the city. I have a map of like all the dope places to like eat and drink and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it is kind of supernatural. There's like obviously a heavy like kind of like voodoo spooky element to it. There's like lots of haunted tours and stuff. There's the above ground crypts. There's all that kind of stuff. But then
the above ground crypts.
Yeah.
Is that like a gang?
Yeah, the below ground bloods and the above ground crypts. They hate each other. There's also like, but there is also like, I don't know how to describe it, but there's like kind of like this like quaint country like racism that's kind of like baked into like you'll go into like a gift store and there's like mammy dolls and stuff but it's just like kind of like, yeah, we're still doing it around here. Like no one's upset about it. Like even the black people down there aren't upset about it. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, it's New Orleans. Like I remember like going somewhere and like there was all these black people wearing white tuxedos, and it wasn't like anyone like forced them to wear white tuxedos and it was weird or anything, but it was weird. It was just
like a traditional tuxedo or like that linen, like kind of like a thin. Because I feel like the thin ones are appropriate, but if you have like...
It was just like a bunch of really dark black men wearing white tuxedos, and it was like in a plantation. It wasn't a plantation, but it had plantation vibes, and it was just like, I feel like everyone's here consensually, but it also just seems like, I think there is a disconnect, like coming from the north and going down like into Louisiana, we're just like, man, this just seems different. Like a lot of things just seem a little...
Is that
a little bit different? No one seems to be upset about it though, right?
Yeah.
Like the locals, nobody seems to be upset about it. You know, it'd be like the one they're like, excuse me, like why are there so many mammy dolls in this gas station? You know, like
is that a thing? Consensual racism. Yeah. Consensual racism. Is that a thing, Zach?
I think there's a certain yeah, Zach, would you speak on that, please?
I mean, I'm sure it is.
Like family reunions, like you hate these people because they're racist, but you're like, I just got to get through this dinner.
Yeah.
I feel like we've dipped our toes in it here and there.
The puppets.
The puppets. The game.
We consented to... Okay, yeah, I don't know. That might be a thing. Because, like, sex and racism sells. I think forever.
Okay.
And so I think when you have people consenting in it, that's what drives the force of money for it to come. I don't...
What's your...
if you're going to ask what my point was...
No, not at all.
wrong.
Not at all. What's your favorite racism sells commercial?
Can drives the force of money be the name of the episode?
My favorite racist commercial?
Yes.
Probably the Pepsi one when they went hard on the Italians.
What?
I wasn't aware of that one.
Remember like the bop like I wanted a Pepsi, and she does like this whole thing about the Italian mob.
No,
there's like this little girl, and then she drinks the Pepsi.
Oh yeah,
and then she turns back into a girl, and she's like, "Thank you."
Yeah, you're saying that was racist against Italians?
Kind of.
No,
it kind of perpetuated this idea of violence.
But the racism made you thirsty and made you want to buy a Coke in that or a Pepsi in that instance.
Okay. Exactly.
No, you can still be racist against Italians. It's fine. They're the last ones. They're the last ones. They're the last ones. Now, what's going to happen is there will be a reckoning. There will be a reckoning one day where you're like, hey, pasta fazool. Be like, whoa, we don't do that anymore. What are you doing there?
We're Italian X now.
Yeah. Do you remember, because we'll all get canceled. Like, I think we have a good 10 years of doing Italian face, Italian voice.
It's called pizza face.
Beth, do you have anything to say about that?
So when I was younger, my mom hid a lot of things from me. I was adopted by my stepdad, and she told me that I was Native American.
Oh, no.
And then when I was like 11, she goes, I need to sit you down. I need to talk to you about things. And she's like, you're actually Mexican. And she said it like in a way like it was bad and like it was better that I was just believing that I was Native American. That's why I would look so much different from my siblings. And I didn't realize that she was calling me things that were kind of racist in Spanish. My white mother knew Spanish and would speak to my white stepdad. And they never taught me Spanish so that they could have their own way of talking about the kids and we wouldn't figure it out. So they used my own native language against me and never taught me it so that they could talk shit
So
about
your
me.
white stepdad learned
he knew,
Spanish just to talk shit about you?
Yeah. And the other kids, yeah.
I'm impressed.
Wait,
And then
what percentage Mexican are you?
half. Yeah. Well, like a quarter. Like my dad, he's Hispanic. He's Spanish and Mexican.
What?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he's more of like an anomaly. He's a twin. His brother is like a little taller than I am, a lot darker, stocky, and then my dad is just like 6'3", so pale, like paler than I, but he has really dark features, dark eyes, dark hair. Anyways, so I came to my mom and was like, "Hey, stop calling me racist slurs in Spanish. It's pretty shitty." And then also like my siblings would catch on. So she goes, "Well, here's something to use for your siblings, which were Italian." So then she taught me racist slurs to call them in.
But isn't that just inclusive at that point?
Sort
if
of.
everybody's using them.
I mean, if everybody's racist, then we're cool.
What were they calling you?
Friolita? Little Bean? Beaner?
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
And Tico Taco.
Little Bean kind of sounded cute.
both of them sounded
does
cute
sound
at first.
cute.
Yeah.
And then also Tico Taco.
Also
I'm
sounds kind of cute.
All racist names sound kind of cute.
Yeah.
That's how you get away with
You're
it.
talking about a child, like a
Yeah.
baby. But she still was like, "Yeah, this is my little
Yeah.
brown baby." It's just like,
My grandma used to call me a little torpy doll, which was like
That doesn't sound cute.
well, no, like a torpy doll was like it was like a little baby doll that you won at like the fair for like, you know, throwing a ball at some bottles and knocking it down. It wasn't a black thing. Like, it's
just a shitty prize that you would get from a state
yeah,
fair.
you know, it's just
You
like
know
a
that.
shitty prize that you would get at a like.
I love you as much as this doll that came from this booth
from a carnival barker
that I got from a meth addict.
Well, I used to have like long curly hair. I had kind of very similar hair, but like long spiral curls.
Yeah.
So like as a little kid, I probably did look like a little carnival doll. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like people like, say weird things to kids anyway. You know, we put weird nicknames on kids.
Monkey.
Is that who would you call that?
I want to call anybody.
Oh.
I mean, I grew up in the north, my guy.
Yeah.
Like,
Was that a nickname that you heard?
Yeah, like monkeypox.
I was
Like it was Tupac and Monkey mixed together.
I was in such a white neighborhood that I actually got bullied for having full lips, which now people will pay thousands of dollars for
your
But I
lips.
got bullied a lot from it. Yeah. They're like, you're not just white.
I got the big
What
lips
else?
too.
Yeah.
Like they would make fun of me for having big lips too.
And then now we're at the top of the food chain. All from these.
Yeah, so that's the.
Did
There we go.
Yes.
Now, have you done a 23andMe? Because I feel like your
Yeah.
family's just like a bunch of liars. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
what
I
if
am-
it turned out there was none of that?
yeah.
So
And it
it's-
was all
Liars.
just white.
So it's a weird thing. Mexican doesn't pull up as a ethnicity. It just like it's not in my chart. It's just kind of other.
What?
And then it will say that the Mexican is Native American, which I feel like is actually politically correct. They were native to Americas before the English or whatever fucking did their terrible shit. But yeah, it doesn't really pull up that I'm Mexican. I feel like it's still kind of stigmatized. Like
Wait.
even when you like sign up your race on any kind of like standard like test or driver license or any kind of thing for the state, health insurance, Hispanic is its own separate checklist. So it feels kind of weird. It feels like you're alienated. And then like all these other races are just like, oh, you could be this. But are you Mexican? Are you Hispanic? And then it's kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I never check the boxes anymore. Like I prefer not to say.
Yeah,
Because like who's using this information?
right.
Census.
If I was wanting to like get like a credit card or like apply for like an apartment, I will just say that I'm white.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Does
do
it
feel
help?
like it helps. Yeah.
Here, the only way
I mean, I got passed for my current place. Like we filled out the application and it's supposed to be like a 48-hour like thing that they go through, within 2 hours, they approved us. And I think it was just because we were, a lot of people that had applied to the place were of different ethnicities and people of color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta watch out for those others, though.
So do you think do you feel like, do you think yourself as like, I'm Mexican?
Yes and no. I was raised really white. I mean, apparently my white mom didn't want to teach me Spanish, which was really shitty of her. I'd like to say that I'm, as what my white boyfriends like to call me, spicy.
Oh,
yeah, that's a very common thing where I like open up and I'm like, yeah, I'm Hispanic. They're like, oh, you're spicy.
Just because you're burning their shoes in a pile doesn't make you spicy.
But to be fair,
it's kind of nice because like a lot of people.
What? No.
I get to see a lot of true colors because a lot of white people see me as only white. And it's only unless people of different ethnicities, they'll see me and they're like, oh, you seem like you might be mixed with something. I don't know what it is, but you're mixed with something. Yeah. But white people think that I'm just white and they'll just open the door of all these bad things that they say and I just let them say it. And then afterwards I'm like, so you are a piece of shit and I am Hispanic, right?
Yeah.
Or like I just like slide it in that I'm Mexican.
Secret minority.
You see the gears turning and then they just are like, oh fuck, I can't dig my way out of this. It's like it is a white privilege that I have that people are openly racist to me thinking that I will accept it and I don't.
Yeah. As an undercover Mexican, how many white people have you caught?
Have you busted?
Oh, all the time.
Is it a lot more than we think?
Yeah.
A lot of people are fake out there? Oh, okay.
I do want to say, the first time you were on Harder Brunch, when I did make you nachos, now I feel like bad for that. I feel like I was stereotyping you.
Were you?
No. I was just kidding.
There's a lot of things on the table right now.
Can you hit 7 bomb buttons in a row for that one, please? No, man.
I once went on a date with a guy that was very openly racist, and I'm just like trying to finish my meal. I don't want to see him again, and I just noticed him. We're at a Chinese buffet, so there's like all these different people that are coming in, and he's like making remarks and everything. At the end of it, I was like, I'm just gonna let you know I am Hispanic, and he goes, oh, you don't look it.
Yeah.
Does that make it better?
Yeah.
You're okay though. You don't look it.
Yeah.
That's
You're fine.
Wild to me.
Yeah.
I've dated white girls like that too, and like I look black, like from my skin color alone.
No, not in my book.
I don't see color.
I've never even thought of you as black.
I've had girls just be like, oh, like instantly, like, hey, like my mom's gonna be so happy I'm dating a black guy that we've always wanted mixed babies, and like that is like think that in the back of your head. Don't bring that up on the first date.
Yeah, it's weird.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't
What
lead with
date
that.
is that a good one to bring up on?
Well, I don't know, but like, are you dating me for my jizz?
Yeah,
Are
it
you
is.
asking me?
You, Zach. No,
It's full circle.
Yeah, I'd like to get a
I
pint or
wanted
so.
to bring
It's
it
full circle.
I wanted to bring
I love it.
It's like your
Make that cup
DNA.
to go.
It's like reverse eugenics.
You mean?
Well, go ahead, Zach.
I don't know. It just pulled my mind in so many directions at the same time.
That's what I try to do. This is I feel really bad about this episode because this is an after brunch episode.
Yeah.
On the Harder Brunch.
It's a really good after brunch episode.
This is a really good after brunch. This is a good Harder Brunch episode.
Yeah.
But like, there's so many people that like might see this and be like, "Is this Harder Brunch?"
Yeah.
And it's not.
Like,
This is after brunch. you guys get you get an after brunch for free.
I will say this as like I think there's something in common of like Thad being a black dude that was raised in like a white town, me being mixed, raised in the city, you being secretly Mexican,
undercover.
Like people will really say a lot of like, 'cause they say a lot of stuff to me, so I can't imagine how much more, and like they say a lot of stuff to you.
I don't know how I get it. Like wait, but I think they're just being mean at that point.
No, but there's always but it's always the thing of just like, oh, not you. Like you're fine.
You're a good. Thaddeus, you're a good in Columbia City. I'll name the town. In Columbia City, I heard that so much. Like, you're a good black. You're a good black, Thaddeus. I'm not
serious?
those other niggers. They didn't even know how to say it. They like those other niggers, and like they like the pants and all that. They go hard.
They like pants.
They just comment on the style. And like, what are we doing here?
You think it's your pants style that differentiates you?
What are we doing here, Matt? Yeah, I named him by name.
Yeah, we don't normally drop the N-word on the Harder Brunch. We save them afterwards, so I like that. But it was also good you like mispronounced it, so I don't know if the YouTube algorithm will pick it up or not.
Yeah, I've been saying niggers instead, just so I could like. Yeah, I don't want to get blocked.
Celebrity gym neighbors.
I would love for a white like person to have the last name Nager, like Ralph Nager.
No, that's a Chappelle.
There's
It's a famous Chappelle
skit
sketch.
about that.
Wait, time out.
It was the pilot episode of Chappelle's show.
No, stop.
The nigger family.
Okay, well,
Yeah, it was. I mean, great minds think alike.
I said thank you, and
Yeah.
I said Nagers.
Yes.
Okay, I'm done.
What's the spelling difference?
Yeah.
Is it the same
E
spelling, just
and-
different?
It's NIGGER, and then an asterisk
Over the what?
just after,
Just after?
Just next to it, just kissing cousins.
and it's pronounced Nagers.
Oh my god! Wow, we haven't even come close to an appropriate episode. I no, hold on. I wanna right the ship here, Beth, because I want you to get the full context of what's going on here. So, Thad did a speech at Creative Mornings this week, where like people got up and filed into an auditorium at 8:00 in the morning to hear Thad
Sigh.
give a professional grown-up speech about creativity. And these are people of all different walks, like artists and scientists, all these different people. And then Thad did some stand-up comedy, followed by his life story, and then ended it with like a perfect kind of podcast plug. And he told me he was going to do this, but I forgot. So when I woke up that morning at like 9:00, I was like, why do we have so many followers on Instagram for Harder Brunch? And I was like, oh, he gave this speech. So I can only imagine like 50 people that their first episode
It's gotta be a rough
of
one.
listening to Harder Brunch is going to be like, man, the guy from the speech talks about jizz and racism a lot.
Let's get creative.
Yeah. You know, I'd like to pull this in. Hi, I'm Thaddeus J. McKee. You
The J stands for jizz.
That is Jizz McKee.
Hi, I'm Thaddeus Jizz McKee. A lot of things that you guys might have heard today might have been offensive, might have made you feel uncomfortable, but isn't that art? And cut. And just cut it right there.
Cut and wrap, Zach. Cut and wrap.
Zach, how do you feel about this episode?
Oh no, this is a good one. This is a real good one.
Yeah, this is one of the good ones. Would you say that like you don't typically like the episodes, but this one's one of the good ones? This one,
That's what the title is.
That's what the title is. This one's one of the good ones. That is perfect. It encapsulates everything.
you know, there's episodes and then there's episodes, if you know what I'm saying.
Now there's
Not you, Beth. Not you, Beth. You're one of the good episodes.
I love that. Now there's black episodes, and then there's black episodes. Oh, that's really funny.
I do want to say this. I'm very excited that Red Flag Comedy, we're going to be putting on a show coming up on the 13th with Melanie Hearn. You remember how hilarious Melanie Hearn was from Detroit?
Can I just say how much I love Melanie Hearn?
Yeah. Speak on it.
Love Melanie Hearn. She's one of the funniest people I've seen in Michigan. That sounded like it was a diss, but like
Only a
I was like in Michigan at this house party, and there's this girl, like there's this lady out here just like chilling, and like she's like being very nice, and then she gets up on stage and lights that whole basement on fire, and
Yeah.
I was like, I have to know this person, and then I found out, oh, She goes to the Comedy Store regularly. Like she's like a really good freaking comedian, and like she was just super nice too. And so I went back to Michigan with Dwight Simmons and saw her again. It was a pleasure. So I can't wait for her to be back to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
It's always crazy when you're just sitting next to somebody and they're just like chilling, and then they go on stage and just like murder top to bottom, and you're just like, oh my god! Like I was almost like, why were you standing next to me like that?
Yeah. Why are you so nice to me?
You should have told me how good you were.
Yeah, I think I stood in front of her and yeah, she was just like, oh, like let me stand for him. I was like, oh, was I standing for him? I was like, no, you're fine. Like, and then she murders. I'm like, oh shoot, like what did I just do?
Yeah. So the next Red Flag Comedy show, I'm giving away 2 free tickets right now. 2 free tickets to this amazing show. All you have to do is drop something in the comments this week and just say, I want them tickets. That's all you have to do. You listen to this, go into our Harder Brunch Instagram. I want them tickets. You get 2 free tickets to Red Flag Comedy.
Bonus points if you can find a song about jizz.
Yeah.
If you make a jizz reference in the song.
Tag us in the comments.
Final thoughts, Zach. Favorite song about jizz from the mid 2000s?
I mean, they're all so good.
It's like you're making me pick one of my children.
Yeah. I know there was one about, it was like a female artist that was talking about her secret beauty treatment.
Oh.
And she was talking about using ejaculate in her skin regimen.
In the song?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was?
God, I don't remember.
In her skincare?
Yeah. It was something about my secret beauty treatment or something.
That seems like it was ghostwritten by a man.
Yeah. He was like, no, it's cool.
That was
good for your
Cleopatra's
skin.
thing, apparently.
Cleopatra?
Semen?
Yeah. She would, I don't know if she would have it laying around or,
Pools.
just pools of it. But yeah,
All right.
there you go.
Yeah.
I like when...
Tales from the Crypt.
Wait a second. How many do you think it takes to make a bukkake minimum? How many people?
That's a good question. On air.
4? 4 people jizzing
4
on
people?
one person?
4 people doing the jizzing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean,
You guys at least be 3, right?
yeah, I
'Cause
feel
that's
like
4
three's
people
not right.
total.
Yeah.
Dyke says it has to at
But like
least
4
be
is
8.
a party.
Yeah.
4's a party.
Yeah. But 3's a crowd, 4's a party. Yeah.
This crowd is so boring.
We need to add another one.
Yeah. What did it say on the internet? It said either 3, 2,
Well,
2, 8.
even Urban Dictionary had 2 definitions. One,
Yeah.
it said at least 3, ejaculators.
Yeah.
And then the other one said a party typically of 8 or more.
8!
It was
Yeah.
very,
Damn.
very much 2 different things.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Dyke says that's the only proper way.
From the
Do
one,
they all have to come at the same time?
No. It's a time lapse thing. It's like usually it's an all day. It's like bring a lunch. It's an all day thing.
Oh.
Can you imagine eating a sack lunch with that going on the other side?
Hey guys, I'm out. Wait, come on.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's what they do.
Yeah, that
Like a fluffer
deserves
has, like,
a boo
Arby's.
and an applause.
You look like you're gonna throw up over there.
So did she.
It's a
These
lot
are
of
my
jizz.
type of parties. Here's the thing: how do you know it's an all-day thing?
I mean, that's how long it takes. Like they're.
So you've been a part of it.
I mean, I just for my research, that's what I've seen.
But what did you research to even get the production time on that?
Like, how deep are you in this? He's reading a book.
Yeah.
That has a secret life.
It'll all be in my book. Go ahead and drop a beat for me, Zach.
You can't open this book.
The pages are stuck together. If this was your first Harder Brunch, I apologize.
100%.
We'll be back. We'll be back with a real interview next week. But we were just having fun. Here's what happened. Here's the problem. Here's what happens.
It's a shitty thing to say at the end of the episode.
Here's what happens when 4 friends get together. We just talk about jizz for an hour.
And racism.
And racism. Jizz and racism. Beth Francis. Where can people- Beth.
We're ending racism with Jizz here.
Yeah.
Beth Little Bean Francis. Where can people find you and follow you on social media?
My Instagram is iBethamphetamine.
Nice.
Yeah.
Zach Rome.
I'm at Zach_Rome.
Daddy's Jake.
Oh, I'm not plugging my stuff.
You want to plug this?
That is Jizz McKee.
Yeah.
My OnlyFans is. I'm kidding.
Hey, I'll be at the dog show October 6th. I'll be at Can again October 5th. Really, if you like supporting dogs and helping getting better incinerators for dog pounds, please come out to the dog show. If you really care about dogs and you want to see them get burned quickly,
If you don't come, dogs will die.
well, they're gonna die no matter what. Again,
More dogs will die.
This is food in other cultures that we are raising money for. Things are going pretty good in America. Right now in America, we have problems with gluttony, overeating. We have actually programs to lose weight because people eat so much. In other countries, that's not necessarily a thing. But come out and support dogs. We need to help them out.
I don't stand by anything he just said.
I did not lie.
Brunch Nation, thank you. Appreciate you. We love you. We'll see you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.